We are live, GM. Everybody, welcome in. Welcome back to another Metaverse Spotlight. I'm your host, Crafter, and today I am joined by the one and only Pepe from SandRush. Welcome in, dude. We are going to be chatting about all things Magic Palette, an amazing tool that the team over at SandRush has been working on. So we're going to be diving on into that. Before we get on into everything, though, I would love to obviously say hello to Pepe. Welcome in. And also, if you can just go ahead and give us a quick little intro about you and SandRush, and then we'll dive on into everything.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Crafter. Excited to be here. Super cool after all these years. This is the intro. I'm in the space and especially working on the Sandbox platform since years now, together with my team, SandRush. And yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of SandRush, and we are super excited to show you today first peaks and first live demo of Magic Palette that we are working on since quite a while now. Our studio is focused on part of it is production, so straightforward. We design games and social hubs for clients. Our main focus in the last months and years was towards cybercons. We did build two 2x1 and 2x2 for them, and they have a super cool thriving community, and
Yeah, they do.
they have their own VX avatar collection, and they really wanted to have a home for them. And there's the Shrine of Kongs and the Temple of Fortune. Temple of Fortune is not live yet, so this also today will give a small peek into things. Not too much, but just a glimpse. Because we used Magic Palette actually for both of these productions together with our partner studio Navia. It was a blast to work on these experiences. Besides this straightforward client work, we developed since really the early days, or we were always super curious how we can push boundaries on this platform, because there are so many opportunities. There's VoxEdit, there's GameMaker, as we all know, but there can be more. And there, we always invested quite a lot of resources and time into developing all our own in-house tools on top of the existing tools that the platforms that the TSP platform gives us at hand. And therefore, yeah, we are quite deep into voxels and beyond, I would say. Yeah. So I think we had, must be 2 years ago, a first talk even already
Yeah.
about the pre early super version of super early version of Magic Palette.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to bring that up and let people know that if you are curious and you want to kind of see the progression of what Magic Palette has gone through and the journey of SandRush, I do have in the archives a handful, I think at least two, at least one, maybe two episodes with SandRush. If you scroll back through YouTube is probably the best place to go to find all that. You'll see some of the different interviews that I've done with SandRush, and both. I swear there's two, but for sure, the first one, I remember exactly what you're saying, where you guys really started to kind of reveal the idea of Magic Palette and what you were working on, and how you were creating these in-house tools to assist with the building that you guys were already doing inside of the sandbox. So it's super cool to be able to see your guys' journey from basically the beginning of the idea all the way to now, where you do have an MVP, a minimum viable product, and maybe more than an MVP at this stage, and are on moving forward towards getting it in the hands of creators, which I'm super stoked about. And I know a lot of other creators inside of the sandbox are also very excited to see what this tool can do. And shout out everyone that's tuning in. If you're tuning in live, you can drop a comment in the chat, or drop a comment below. If you're catching the replay, let us know what you're excited about. And if you have any questions about SandRush and Magic Palette, feel free to drop those in the chat. I will flag those, and we'll circle back to them at the end. We will open up for a little Q&A at the end if anyone does have questions. And but yeah, I'm super excited. I think that was a good intro of what you guys have been doing and where you guys are heading next. I'm excited to get into and start checking out this tool. I'm stoked to be the platform that is going to be able to just show this live demo to everybody, and then hopefully soon everyone will have their hands on it and doing magical stuff inside of the sandbox and beyond. I think we should maybe just get on into kind of revealing what Magic Palette is and what it can do. Do you want to should we start with a trailer here real quick? It's a short little trailer just to tease everything in, and then
Sure.
we'll switch on over to having you talk about it all.
Yeah, cool. Perfect.
Sounds good. I will get that pulled up here for everyone in just a second. I don't think there's going to be sound, unfortunately, but just watch. I can make some fun background sounds for you guys.
Perfect.
But all right, so enjoy, and then we'll be right back. Beauty. Whoop, it's going to replay. Beautiful. That was a good place to stop it. Heck yeah. I almost made some stupid background noises, but I didn't. I refrained. But yeah, tell us more about Magic Palette, Pepe. What everybody is dying to hear about and see. Maybe more so see than hear.
Yeah. I would say let's dive straight into. One thing to note, this is early version. We're still working on it. We're pushing updates daily. We of course also testing and improving features. So bear with me if something is broken, or just go, kind of if something goes not along the plan. But basically, I can show you today Magic Palette as it is, and will soon be rolled out to as a demo, at least to all builders and creators in the ecosystem. We are super stoked to finally get it into the hands of the creators.
I'm gonna step in 1 sec to let everybody know, if you are interested in being a part of this demo, they just need to sign up on the website, correct? Is that the steps that people need to take?
Yeah, perfect. We will give a first we roll out first to all the waitlist subscribers on magicpalette.io. You just can drop your email and you're in. There's no need for wallet or whatever at this point. So really just we need your email so that we can reach out to you once. Perfect. Thanks a lot. Once we go live with the demo version, I will explain a bit Um, or let's say, I would say let's jump in straight away. I need to share my screen.
Yeah, I think if we jump in and then you explain as we go, that's probably going to be the easiest to approach this. But yeah, I dropped the link to Magic Palette. It's just Magic Palette. Palette is PALETTE. Magicpalette.io is the website, and you can sign up, enter your email address. And if you're catching the replay on YouTube, it's linked down below. I already have it there. If you're catching it on Twitter, just go to Sandrush and you'll find the link there in their bio as well. But yeah, let's dive on into it. You got your, oh, there it is, I think. Yep.
Perfect.
Let me pull. It doesn't look like I see a beautiful background. There we go. And
Great.
there we are.
Cool. So first of all, let's start up the app because we really want to see how it looks, and everybody really is eager to see how things work. It is fully web-based, so everybody can access it through the browser of his preference. And I just have it here locally kind of installed. But for the user, it will be web-based. It's loading the blocks. A huge part of our kind of dedication also towards the builders and the creators is to also provide them with resources that they can use straight away out of the box and work with them. So this is Magic Palette. We have, sure, is it full screen? I think more or less now. Yeah, it's full screen. Cool. I just give an overview. So we have a top bar with really limited options right now. We have a sidebar where the most things happen, and we have a bottom bar with some options regarding the viewport and all that. In the center is the viewport. It's pretty straightforward. I will explain or kind of dive into the two parts of what Magic Palette can do, and they both things address a bit a different user and target group. I would say we have a generative part, as you see here on the right side, on the right sidebar. We have a land generator built into Magic Palette, and many more will follow. But we will have one in the demo already. Play with. This is to really get you off ground as fast as possible, even as non-builder. So this is kind of the premise that with just a few clicks, you will be able to generate, but also tweak and kind of customize your land to your likings based on various themes, or we call them game genres, based on themes as well. And you also, as you can see, you will have customized options per generator. This is something that we think is quite Game Maker and also Voxit is really approachable from our perspective, but still a lot of people are not, or especially landowners or people that really would love to dive into the ecosystem. They still need to get their hands on it, start learning it,
It's intimidating to start, I think. It's intimidating for a new person to start using Game Maker and Vox Edit, but once they get into it and start doing stuff, then they realize it's not as hard as they may think it is. So this is amazing because it'll kind of propel them in and give them something to work from, as we'll see here in just a second.
Exactly. We really want to have this this base layer, or kind of getting them off ground really fast, having something playable and really something that they can have in GameMaker and then publish to their lands with literally just a few clicks, as I just mentioned. So let's take a look at this, and afterwards we go a bit more. The audience probably is also the more advanced builders, and people like these will looking our stream here probably. So that's the second part, and I will touch that in a moment. But let's at least give you a glimpse of what we can do here with the land generator. For now, we start with a dungeon themed generator. See it top, all right.
Yeah.
We have others in the works.
I was gonna say, what are the other ones in the works? I can't quite read them, but they look cool.
Cavern, Space Racer, Platformer. We actually have even others that are more. So this comes really down to also what the community wants, because we have a lot of themes and things in the work, and we can push them based on preferences of what everybody would be most excited about. Let's start with the dungeon one. So to get started, this is procedural level generation. This kind of, you know it from a lot of games. It is kind of this mixture of an automated land generating, but based on constraints, and it's really important for us that we not just random just put out something. We want to have playable levels, level designs in the end. So we would start with generate a minimap. This then gives you here a first preview of the map, an ISO view of the map. This is just to figure out how it will look. It shows you the structures, and you can now start customizing this already with a few options, or let's say parameters. We have in this generator here, we have structure height, structure density, and also how large the rooms will be that will be kind of used for the generated land. And you also can define the landscape style, so flat or elevated. We can now see this a bit. For example, I could go high density with the structure and generate me a new map. And you see, it has more hallways. It's more intersections. And this is, every time it's a completely new level, as you can see, but it's always fully playable. And you will see it in a second, because everything is connected as it should be, so that you have kind of this dungeon crawler type of feel right out of the box, So let's say, mixed is okay, maybe not high. Landscape style is okay. We go 2 floors.
What is it, 4? 1, 2, 3. What are the 4 parameters that you can adjust, so just in case people can't quite read it on their screen?
Sure. Structure height. So you can go on one level, or you can have an elevated with bridges and things underneath. So we have 2 levels in this generator here. You can define the structure density from low to high. If you go low, I can generate one. It should be, you see, it's much more lava in this case here, or kind of surrounding landscape, and less structure. So this is really up to you, your preferences, what you like and how you would like to have your level, And these parameters, or these customizable parameters that play into how it will feel and look, they will differ each generator, of course. This is really specific towards what the level needs to be tweaked, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, but in this case, yeah, I mean, let's make something that looks decent and is playable, hopefully. Something like this, for
I'd say
example.
that looks pretty good.
And once we're happy, we can create the land. And this
Wow.
is where the magic happens, exactly. So you have a fully playable level now, that you will see here in the viewport. And as we did dial in 2 floors, it also has this elevated bridges and things underneath.
Very cool.
It has these rooms. Some, for example, here we have a large room. We'll see this. And as you can see, these are fully block based, and that's the thing that we work here in Magic Palette. I mean, maybe I forgot to mention we work with voxels and we work with blocks. We transform voxels into blocks and back again, kind of in various ways. So yeah, let's say we are kind of happy. Otherwise, we just generate a new map. We can use this one as it is, but maybe we don't like this pretty standard, bit boring almost, straightforward classical dungeon style. We can change the style directly here with prefabbed themes. These themes would then kind of swap the full level in this case. So you can see it
wow, just like a click of the button and it all just changes.
Yeah, we can go back to the standard theme here. I quite like this one. So the lava is now turned into water. And
if I had a dollar for every time I said I wish I could just swap all of the blocks that are this into that, I would have a lot of dollars, and I would pay those to you guys to use use a tool like this. So this is very cool. I'm getting excited just seeing it in action.
Awesome. Yeah, or we go full fiery lava style here, a bit more yeah, extreme.
It's like a Bowser dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. That's the good comparison. This is a bit more kitschy, as you can see, but this is the whole kind of premise. We now can interact with these builds, and as you see, really switch things. Thanks, escape room match is super cool to have you on the stream. It's this type of things that should allow non-builders to make progress fast, to really have something that they can play with, that they are happy to start with. You know, it's this playground, I call it. It's this base layer of yeah, not just thinking about a full level design and players path and players journey. And there, of course, these are just blocks. The rest needs to come in the game maker still. So when we talk about mechanics, assets, effects, if needed, these things still are reserved to a game maker. We just cover this initial phase of getting you something to play. I will able to show you one of these levels afterwards in Game Maker.
Heck yeah. I
but
think
you,
that real quick, just touch on that point that you made. Sometimes, and this is very true for me. And there's different builders out there with different styles, but I see myself using a tool like this a lot because the way that I build a lot of times is like you're describing, is getting into a playground and just kind of wandering, not wandering, but like scrolling around and moving around the map until I get inspired with how I feel like the level should play. And then I start placing things and setting up logics, like
Mhm.
having this base to work from, like at the click of a button, just like that, is going to just really speed up the process of creation and ideation. And I'm just super excited to see all the different stuff that that all the different creators are able to come up with. And this really does solve for the issue that I think a lot of us are seeing all across the metaverse. Is there's a lot of land out there that is sitting vacant, and this is going to make it really easy to start populating the metaverse and getting stuff out there, so that it isn't just a barren wasteland that you come across the game every once in a while. It really is just filled with all kinds of stuff. So I just see nothing but good things coming from a tool like this, that any creator can then get in and start building cool stuff with. So super excited to see where we go from here. But keep on going.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a huge thing. It kind of enables it. It really is this bridge to bring you faster into level design and creation. And one thing that might be not obvious here, because we see the blocks. I mean, we see the textured blocks here. Um, this is still kind of a voxel model for us. We work, and you will see it much more clear and kind of precise when we load our own maps into Magic Palette, that everything is voxel based, and a voxel becomes a block, and or the other way around. It depends where you are coming, you know. And this is exactly how we enable fast prototyping, creating these block outs, creating even things like these automated or procedural generated levels. Um, it's just a new way of thinking when it comes to level design, I think. And
Yeah.
I know from a lot of creators that they do mock-ups or maybe small models or miniature maps to figuring out what they want to build. But until now, they didn't have a chance to bring this directly into GameMaker, start tweaking, figuring out where things needs to go. They really needed to terraform in GameMaker until now.
Hmm.
There was no other option, and this is something that we want to bring as a new
Yeah.
toolkit.
Yeah, and I love the way that the way that you've explained it to me. I think maybe on our call before we did this, but is that you guys are basically providing that bridge between different tools that people are using. Vox Edit, Magical Voxel. There's plenty of other voxel tools out there, and allowing to bridge that into the game makers. That's what Magic Palette is really doing, is being that bridge between the different programs and getting it inside of Game Maker, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I think it can be a huge help um, for for creators and even non-creators, as I just show here with this kind of semi-automated workflow. Um, Once you're happy, you would export this directly to GameMaker and load your map there, and we'll start kind of adding what you still need. In this case, I mean, this is not I would probably prefer more the classic one or whatever, to go full dungeon crawler type of deal. You need a few skeletons, you need a bit of loot,
some chests.
yeah, exactly. I think it kickstarts you fast into what you could do with levels like these. This is just one theme or one genre that we present here in the demo. But as said, we are already working on many more to have a variety and to cover a lot of needs, and also for hubs and all that, or platformer and race games. A lot of stuff that will come, and we also can provide in an automated or at least procedural generated way.
Heck yeah.
Cool. One thing to note here, and this kind of brings us to the second part of Magic Palette. If you are not happy with these prefab styles and want to tweak your blocks already here, you can do this even with these generated levels. So in this case, you just select one of the available blocks, and you see it gets highlighted, all the same blocks. And this brings me to the palette builder that we have in a second tab here. And this is where you will see your blocks that are connected in Magic Palette with a color. So each color, and you see them here, each color represents a block. This is also what I did show before with this bare bone voxel kind of type of model. These blocks can be customized already here in Magic Palette and can be swapped. So if we are not happy with the style or certain blocks, we just can start browsing the available blocks that we provide as Studio to work with. Right now, there are around more than 1,000 blocks that we will provide just to get you going and start with. But we also will, and we work already on this, give you the option to upload or kind of tap into your custom blocks.
Nice.
Yeah. But for example, I mean, just that you see how things work, we swap into a bit more. I mean, that's a plain color. We also have a lot of plain colors, because in the early development phases, we think it's crucial that you that you can block out fast and don't bother too much about what materials and blocks you want and need.
I mean, especially if you have a tool like this that you can go back and swap them out later with more improved blocks. I think that's
exactly.
That's the amazing part.
Yeah, it's always, I go super dark blue here. Just use one of.
That's always one of the things that I run into while I'm building in the Game Maker in the beginning, is like it's almost like a paralysis of choosing what blocks I'm going to place, because I don't want to have to go back and use the left alt button and replace blocks one at a time whenever I decide that I'm gonna change direction on the theme or the feel of the world that I'm building. So to not have to even think about it and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna use my standard set of blocks that I always build out with, and then later on I could go and swap those out with whatever blocks real easy. Makes just like takes a weight off of my shoulders as a builder, where I don't have to like sit there
and commit already to the yeah. Fully agree. It gives you just more flexibility. Yeah, you see, yeah, then Corey, we all agree here probably. But yeah, this is why we come in with Magic Palette and hopefully can, yeah, bring in new opportunities for builders. Um, let's, because we're all already in for a bit. This is the generative part, and we already now touched the part where it gets quite interesting for more focused builders and people that probably even daily build with GameMaker and VoxEdit and be able now to to integrate Magic Palette into their workflows. Because as I said, this tool did did kind of evolve out of our own needs as studio to exactly do this what you just said. We want to have the flexibility to just dial in the level blocking out, starting to go back and forth with our partner studios, level designers, so that they can work on this block out. And really this it kind of accelerated this pre-production and early production phase a lot, and it allowed us to do quite cool things. And I think this is what the more the builders out there want to see. The Magic Palette, and for this I just show you one or two maps that we were working on, and I can explain a detail or two on it. We are not a voxel editor yet. It's not our goal, at least right now, to have editing functions within Magic Palette, because there are quite powerful tools out there for this already. But we encourage you to use these tools in a more in a way that you can build things that otherwise would not be possible right now in GameMaker. And therefore, I just fire up. Let me. I think I have a few ones. Yeah, exactly. So I fire up Magic Voxel. It's my preferred voxel editor, but you can use VoxEdit, Cubicle. There are quite a few cool ones out there that they have also different features. What you can see here, for example, just that you get an idea. This is a 1x1. Of course, not 1x1. It is voxel based, as you see. So it's 96 by 96 by, I think it's, yeah, it even uses the full height, 128.
128, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I pulled this one up because it's one of our own levels that we design in-house as team, Sandwich. It is a kind of this jungle valley type of deal, and you also see a bit the user or the player's journey here. It goes alongside these cliffs and then into these caves here, up and up. So it's kind of have platforming elements and all that. But as you see, it's just a block out still. It's not super detailed, but it has dialed in some essential spatial positioning of how it should be built and all that. And one super cool thing that you see here very well, since it's built in Magic Voxel, you can start using shaders. And this is quite powerful, in our opinion, because now you can apply shaders to your land, with the help of Magic Palette.
Right, yep.
And you see here this transition. I think here it's even more visible. Yeah. Let's go ortho, and then you see it very well. You see, this one is a gradient shader that you can apply, and this is now over your whole experience, and it gives this a kind of neat touch and kind of, yeah, it depends. It's all
Yeah.
up to you, of course.
No.
We have actually, I mean, the more pro builders will for them, this will already spark a few things,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you can, for example, you can flood your levels. So this means you build and then you flood. So you have an
Yes.
underwater world out of the box, ready to play. Everything is dialed in, and you don't have the fuss of doing it in GameMaker. And we know how this works. We have the opportunity to have gradients, to erode, to, yeah, more and more and more.
Right. Yeah.
I
It's just
probably, yeah,
using the features of the different tools to your advantage and being able to bring all of the different tools that do all kinds of cool different stuff and bring it all into the game maker is what this is going to solve for, which is so cool because like I haven't delved personally too far into Magical Voxel, but I've always heard from more advanced builders about shaders and stuff and how it just is a game changer. So like being able to leverage that and use that in your builds inside of the game maker is just gonna bring everyone's building to the next level. So super cool to see that. And what are we looking at right now? This is a cool looking temple like vibe.
yeah, and these guys giving away already a bit for what it is, and we did see it in the trailer actually. I don't want to go too much into depth because this is, as I said, not live yet.
A little bit of
But
beans.
I can show you something cool here, and it was something that we really did, actually, for this production here. So if you go into the model, and let's say we just make a cut here, remove this one. You see, you have the floors now, because it's a temple, as you mentioned correctly. You now have, a kind of, you have a view inside, or better said, we would, in our case, we would slice this one into various floors because it has multiple floors. And the cool thing now here, and this is actually what we did in the production, we started with the lower ground here, just published once we were ready with the minimap, as you see it here. We just published the lower ground into GameMaker, start dressing. Once we were more or less ready, at dressing, I mean adding assets, kind of figuring things out, making first, kind of give it the mood and feel that we need, or aimed for. But after that, it would look similar to what you see right now. It has missing all the upper parts still. And once we are ready, we just go back to the minimap, load the next level, and push this to GameMaker again. Dress everything inside of this level here. All the stuff that we need to place inside, and we all know how tricky and annoying it can be to work inside of
Yes.
narrow rooms in GameMaker.
Yes. Very,
So
very tricky for those of you that haven't experienced it in Game Maker. It's very tricky in tight spaces. And ERA points it out as well, helps you get in there and get things done. So yeah, super. This is going to
yeah,
be super helpful for builders.
so this is a huge for production. It was a huge help in this case here. So we really were able to make progress level by level, floor by floor in this case here. yeah, so that's another use case. We also once again see another shader here for the sandstone sediments, you know. So I mean, it's a simple one, but still, it has this randomized
Yeah.
type of deal, and you can refine it, and you see it's just, I say it once again, it's this base layer or this playground. You always can alter and adjust in Magic Palette, and even after, of course, in Game Maker. But you have this opportunity to now build these mock-ups or mini-maps, I call them, quite fast, and really
Hmm.
push them to maybe even this amount of detailing that we see here. If you want to, you don't need to, but you will have less work afterwards,
Right.
in my opinion. And it was exactly like this in our production. So that's um, yeah, something super cool that we think can help a lot.
Yeah. Dan Coy pointing out that now voxel artists can build an entire level design in Magic of
Yeah,
Voxel, which is super exciting for all the voxel artists out there.
yeah, I think so too, because I mean I experienced firsthand. Let's take a peek on another map. This would be a floating island 2x2, fully block based.
This map, the thought popped in my head last time when you sneak peek showed me, and it pops in my mind again. This map just is a good example, and the last one as well, of how underutilized blocks are in sandbox building right now. It's crazy that what we're looking at right now is all blocks. It's all, the only thing that map is made up right now is blocks, and that is something that shouldn't be understated. It really can help with performance of games, for one, from my understanding, as well as all kinds of other things. But
Yeah,
it's just, we're undervaluing, I think, the ability of blocks and how to build with them in the sandbox currently. And I think this is going to allow people to really push the limits and start building some really amazing block work inside of the sandbox. And we're gonna start seeing more Minecraft, advanced Minecraft level builds inside of the sandbox with this tool, which I think is super exciting.
yeah, definitely. And you brought up something that I actually can throw in here to get everybody even more hyped up. This is actually a Minecraft map.
Oh.
So, so anyway, let's move on. Let's load this one into Magic Palette. I would say we go back to Magic Palette where we are. So we have load. Let's see. I need to figure out where we are. And from here, I think I even have it recently downloaded. This one. Yeah, it loads now the map or
I love watching it load up.
these chunks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it processes it in chunks. Um, and it, here you see it's already a bit kind of altered or tweaked. Um, you now have the map. This is as we just did see. This is a Vox file right now. You can also see it here with plain colors. And I have now here in Magic Palette the option to assign blocks. You know, I mean we're still. I'm not sure. I think I selected the roofs, so maybe we go a bit more also reddish, maybe not glow. We can actually search for blocks. We have quite how do you say, a vast library, as I just already explained, but it's also searchable.
I was gonna say, are
Uh,
there like tags or things attached to them?
exactly. There
Yeah,
are tags. You can search for colors, or for example, you see let's say grass, and then all the grass blocks pop up that are currently
nice.
available. Something that we heavily missing in marketplace. Actually, if it's still as it is, you even can't search at all for blocks.
I was gonna say, I don't think you can.
They are just invisible, kind of.
Yeah,
And you brought it up before. We think blocks are underestimated
yeah,
in the whole builders process. It doesn't mean that this is the finished or the final product, but it's an enabler, and it's this playground, and this early stage of level design. It can be so much easier and accelerated with the help of our tool.
right. And then you get in there, and maybe you decide, I want the roofs to not look blocky. I actually do want them to be more um, more.
Exactly.
You can
I
change,
mean,
you can swap it out. You delete the box and put the roof in, kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you see it very well here, and you will see it once you play the experience. These large gorillas or apes here, they were replaced
Mm,
by a real
an actual,
asset,
yeah,
a large asset, an assembly and stuff like that. And we also have detailing on these pillars. But the base structure still is there. The blocks are combined, in our case at least, with additional detailing. So as you said, you keep performance good, and still have this appeal or visual, really advanced appeal with the blocks. Um, and it gives, yeah, it I think the mixture is where we hit
yeah,
the full. So we can't deny, without assets, it's just bare bones, I would say, usually. But you can do a lot already with blocks, as I hopefully can show you guys here.
right, right. As the ERA says, great bones. So start out with great bones, and that's less assets that you have to create in the long run, right? You got good
uh,
bones.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. And I just search for water, so we can swap for water here. And you see we have now the river it was a bit bloody before. Um, Actually, let's go pretty icy, maybe, for example.
Yeah,
And with just, I'm not sure where the snow stuff is, probably here. We tweak the paths a bit. And you see with, I mean, I don't do very nice selected. Maybe for this we can more bluish. Um, so you see, it depends a bit what you have in mind, and what you are aiming for. Um, but um, with the help of Magic Palette, you can start. How do you say? Swapping the theme or the season, as you see here, um, really fast. I think there are even glowing ones.
I mean, it's in comparison to how long it would take to do all that swapping in Game Maker on your own. It's more than pretty fast. um, it's a light years faster than doing it in Game Maker right now. So like being
Yeah.
able to this is another thing. It's such a simple thing, but it's one of the things that has really stood out to me. And maybe it's just because that's where my creative mind goes, but it's going to
Mm,
make it, like you're showing, super easy to take your maps that you have that people love playing on, and they're invested, and they love the map that you have, and introduce new seasons, new themes. You could do not only like a winter season or a summer season, but also maybe like a, I don't know, a dystopian future season, or more of a theme. Like there's so much, or a Halloween theme. There's all kinds of things that you could do with this, just to kind of, you keep the map that everyone knows and loves, but then you can swap it out so it feels different. And every time somebody's coming back, it's a new experience for them to be playing through in a new season or theme or whatever. So very, very cool. Feature that maybe from like bird's eye view seem pretty simple, but it really does enable creators to really have full control over the maps and games that they're creating.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, the custom, this is on the roadmap, and this is also why we need funding. I mean, you see a lot of stuff we have solved, a lot of stuff is working. But now the important step that I want to show you kind of is the crucial puzzle piece that we need to work together with game maker developers and the TSP team, is to bring these map directly to game maker. So we need this interoperability happen. We think there are quite straightforward options for this, I would say, but still, there needs to be this data transfer. Right now, we, for example, would be happy with this map, and then we can export it. I will start now GameMaker quickly, so that we can conclude kind of this demo with seeing some of these maps that I just showed you in GameMaker. And we are actually in touch with the team, and we are super the music of GameMaker always gets me.
Same. It drives me nuts whenever you update and it gets like reverted back to all the default settings, and I have to go in and change like turn off the music. I always turn off my music and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's like same thing.
It's cool. It just surprised me every because it's so loud and it just overblends everything. So it's for me it's all good. But yeah, I'm always. So this is what we could see before. One of these generated dungeon in a ice scene, as you see. It's a 1x1. It has these structures that we did see generated before. Let me seek the spawn. Yeah, the spawn is here. So maybe, I mean, this is just loaded as it comes out of Magic Palette. Nothing edited. It's just, as you see, block-based. So I would put the spawn maybe here is a good place. And yeah, let's start. And as you can see,
so cool.
You have your level, you know,
and it's. I love like just like the intricacies of like having an area where you have to make those jumps to get over the lava or water or whatever it is, and like there's just so much like little detail that's been generated into it that is just, it's very impressive. You guys are really doing a great job at developing this tool, and I'm excited to not only get it in my hands but also get it in the hands of all the other creators and just see everything that people can create and come up with the assistance of a tool like this.
Yeah, I mean that I would say that the possibilities are endless. This is, as I said, this is just the playground, and it's up to you. I mean, as I said before, I mean, let's actually go back to the menu and load the same. I think it's the same map again, but with swapped colors, swapped blocks.
Oh, okay. So this is the same exact map. You just swapped the blocks out.
Yeah, I just did go more for a sci-fi theme, as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
that type of deal. And there's this ooze type of swampy ooze
I've,
thingy.
I've never played a sci-fi dungeon crawler. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never played one.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of the Doom stuff and all
Yeah,
that type
yeah,
of thing, you know.
yeah,
But
yep.
I mean, it's up to you. You can customize it pretty into anything actually, and yeah, I mean, once again, we need the spawner. It's here. That's already pretty good. Um, we just, I mean, we talked about this before. We just drop even just one asset, um, and I would say it it kind of looks like a game,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And this one, of course, it needs the mechanics that it attacks you, but usually that's even standard and dialed in and all that. And yeah, I think it doesn't need much. It really doesn't need much to get you off ground. You know, a few, as I said, a few foes, a few gates, a few keys, loot at the end, or maybe even a. I'm not sure if I have something big here. Is this? Yeah, this is quite big. This spot popped out to me before. So, you know, you would have a final boss somewhere in a larger
Yeah.
room, and off you go.
And
And the cool thing here is you can produce this content very fast now. And
right.
you can do actually, and I recently talked with Andy, I think, we, we were kind of spinning this off. You can go full dungeon crawler theme like or whatever on a 12 by 12 now.
Right.
Easy.
Which is
Because you
nuts.
can do this 144, or you could do it procedural. This is what we are aiming for. Kind of you start somewhere and then you have your player base and they explore and then you publish new levels and
That's what
connect them,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
what I was thinking is that you could just continue on the journey through the dungeons or whatever your game is,
Exactly.
and each land is
Exactly.
the next level, and uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, like the my head was just spinning of like this if this tool was in hands of landowners right now, there'd be so many landowners that could participate in the builders challenge, and obviously like the the skill and the imagination of the creator is going to determine how engaging and how fun, and how long people stay and play your game. But if you if you just have a land and all you want to do is set up like a simple dungeon crawler that people can come, and maybe you have a leaderboard for people that complete it or whatever, there's all kinds of different things you could do, but like
Yeah.
this allows you to do that in, I mean, the land generation takes 5 seconds, and then from there, I don't know, you could probably get a game, a dungeon crawler game set up in a couple hours, a weekend for sure, and be ready to rock for this builders challenge, and be generating some revenue from people just checking out a fun dungeon crawler that you created or whatever. So it has so much potential for just enabling both the beginner creator as well
Yeah.
as the advanced creators, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, exactly. It speaks to both kind of possible audiences. This is the you did see it. It's the 2 by 2
Hmm.
that we did see before in Magic Voxel. It just has this bit dark, almost Dracula type of theme, I think.
Yep.
But we did see it before. It can be ice, it can be full lavascape, whatever you imagine. Um, I would just drop in here. Not sure where the spawn is. Somewhere in the center here. Yeah, and then with a map like this, it's even super cool to explore it by yourself first. And I talked about this a bit, um, about the user, not the user, the player's journey, kind of pathfinding, kind of setting your points of interest, really blocking out things. Maybe, for example, if we look over to the tower here, maybe you want to shift things. So you go back to your minimap, you just grab this, mix things up, really terraforming is yeah, will be really a lot faster
Yeah,
if
and
you
a lot like
start working like this.
right, and the ability to tweak things and change things will be so much easier than they currently are, where you literally, if you wanted to move that you would have
Oh,
to rebuild it or delete it all and rebuild it. Or I guess I don't know. That's the only way you'd really be able to do it right now, right? Is if say you wanted to move that tower, even just like 5 blocks to the left, you would have to go delete that and rebuild it. But now with this tool, you can load into Magic Voxel, select that tower, and just drag it over a little bit. Correct?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's just
correct,
so
correct,
much
exactly.
more efficient and easier for just tweaking, because like right now inside the game maker, if you're terraforming your level, like that's basically what your level is going to be like. There's no going, I mean, there is going back. Like I said, you can delete and redo things, but for the most part, like at least how I build, I'm kind of stuck with whatever I create, because it's such a hassle to go and change little things right now. So this is
Yeah,
just going to open up the door for more and more possibilities. I was just thinking too, as you're wandering around, it was like I could see just generating just random worlds like this, and just allowing people to adventure around could get traction in itself. It's just creating a fun adventure world that people can explore and see what's in this place, because I mean, even the first time you're in there, you don't even know what you're going to find. So that's
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely like this, and you can tweak. For example, I would eliminate these awkward holes here pretty fast now if I would work further on the map. I mean, you have it is yeah, you have the opportunity to really lay the groundwork super fast now, I would say, with the help of Magic Palette. And this is exactly what we are aiming for. Um, it's an enabler, it's a bridge, kind of, to help you use your favorite tools in the most powerful way for terraforming and for level design. Um, and yeah, use and beyond. I mean, this is just the
right.
start. This
Yeah.
is where we are, and or what we want to bring as fast as possible to the builders. I would say, yeah, we could for sure show and talk for lengths, but yeah, let's conclude. If you agree, let's
Yeah.
conclude
I, th-
this
I think I
demo.
think this was a great look and overview and demo of everything that Magic Palette is working towards being. And if you've made it this far in the video, you're
Yeah,
definitely interested in what's going on here. And if you are catching this at a time that this makes sense, make sure you go and vote on the SIP. This is a proposal that has been submitted to the Sandbox DAO to
yeah,
get further funding to continue to develop this tool out and get it integrated into the sandbox and all of that fun stuff, so we can all be using it. We didn't touch too much on the DAO stuff, but if you're here watching this, that's probably what brought you here, is because you're wanting to learn more about what's going on with Magic Palette. So now that you know and you have all the information, hopefully, in my opinion, this should be an easy yes vote. But either way, you make your own decision. You go to the DAO and you go vote and cast your vote, and we'll see what happens. I don't think it's up for vote quite yet. Do you know a date on when the vote will
yep.
happen?
I
Okay.
can give you guys a quick kind of we we are in this phase. So there's this early phase where you kind of submit your SIP and then talk with the team of the DAO and get it kind of to the state where it's presentable and makes sense. I actually just learned today in a Japanese TSP DAO that it's kind of the other way around, probably even. So you submit your SIP in on the forum, and then if it gets enough traction and people start talking about it, you then can kind of look into it with the team quickly. And there is a template that you need to kind of be line out everything, and you can see it in our case. It's the roadmap. It's who, it's why, it's when. It gives you these important informations why this project or this SIP is important. And once it's done, it will then be moved to a category where it can be discussed for 2 weeks. This is where we are right now with Magic Palette in the DAO. So 2 weeks discussion. I think 1 week is now today just passed. There's another week. After this week, it should be around 27th, 6th or something. We will, yeah, cool. You see it here under proposal ideas. We have Magic Palette, yeah. And this is our SIP. Maybe you can scroll. Yeah, exactly. You can read everything. I would be excited to hear your feedback. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and all that here in the forums or on X or wherever you can find me. Once this discussion phase is over, the council of the DAO will kind of do their own recommendations. This is positive, neutral, or negative. This is more to be legal compliant and all that type of stuff. It's not that they are veto against something. It's just if there's a conflict, a legal conflict, for example, they can see that it's even not get put to vote because it conflicts with what TSP does here. And but it gets more and more decentralized, everything here on the DAO, as we did here in the AMAs. And after that, if everything is good and good to go, we will entering a voting phase where it's on chain. You can vote on Snapshot for another 2 weeks. This should be this voting period should be running mid next week until start of July or so for our SIP at least.
Perfect.
And the other one that is up right now.
Perfect. So if you're catching this in time, head on over to forum.sandboxdao.com and go find it and read through the proposal and also provide some feedback below here, and then get ready for the vote. If the vote is up and live right now, make sure you go vote. All you need is 5 sand to participate in the vote, and the more sand you have, the more voting power you have beyond that. But yeah, hopefully we did a good job of getting some information out there around Magic Palette and what these guys are working hard on providing for the community, getting some tools and creators that are going to drastically enhance the ability of everyone that's building inside of the sandbox. So super excited to see the future of all of this. And I want to just real quick first shout out everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking this out live with us. And if you're catching the replay, thanks for catching the replay. If you have questions, comments, concerns, whatever, drop those down in the comment section, and we'll make sure to read through and address those as we go. And What was I going to say? Oh, we're going to do a quick little Q&A session here. If anyone does have questions that that you have live, we can answer some of those. I have a couple, at least one flagged for us to go over, and then feel free to drop more in the comments, and we'll talk through some of those. But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on, and it's such a cool project, or not really project, program, product that you guys are creating for everybody. So super excited for all of this. We
Cool.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to see overview. Yeah, people are enjoying seeing the overview and just getting a feel for everything that's going on. If we want to transition just over into a little Q&A, see if anyone else has questions after we get this first one answered. So please don't be shy. If you got any questions about Magic Palette that you are wondering about, feel free to chime in. But I got one from Dan Coy here. It's a long one, so I'm just going to pull it up on screen so you can read it while I read through it as well. But we got, and I haven't read it, so I don't actually know what this says. If the crafting recipe also provides the ability to generate files of the logic, maybe we could have also logic embedded in the Magic Palette, maybe an interactive menu to choose the logic mechanics to include in the game, or are we very far from this reality? Okay, so basically asking about implementing logic into the procedural generation is what he's getting at, and wondering if you guys are working on that, or if that's going to be hard to do, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a good one. Actually, I think, and I only know that much into what we can. It all depends a bit on how far we can go with data transfer in between Magic Palette and Game Maker, because this is where they need to speak well with each other for enabling such an advanced feature. One thing that we actually already started to experiment with and working with is automated asset placement. And this is a huge step already forward, for example, for a dungeon crawler, as we did see before. So this tiger then actually would spawn already in game. So you have asset packs and kind of would load them into the levels also with a click, but semi-randomized, more like a Diablo game where they have these HUDs. All this type of stuff is for, and probably logic even farther away, probably, because it needs quite a bit of engineering. And I'm not sure how far we can and want to go here, but we are super excited here because yeah, I mean, everybody who knows how these things work, there are so many possibilities to make a level unique, and the replayability also really high, so that you don't encounter each time the skeleton on the same spot. You know, all these type of things. And on top of it, logic, it definitely, it would be super excited. But this expands the whole thing quite heavily, I would say. So this is why we're focusing fully on this base layer. We kind of turn or enhance. We turn voxels into blocks, basically, if you want to break it down, and the other way around. And all what comes on top of it is still a work that can be very well and easily done in Game Maker, we think. And automation can happen, as I just explained with a sample, but needs engineering, of course. And we would need also get funding again for a new phase of Magic Palette for this to make it happen. But this is the beauty of it. I mean, if the people and if the community and the builders think this has value, and and uh, yeah, we would dive in tomorrow,
Sure.
because this is what we are after. We want to empower the creators with all
Heck yeah.
what we
Heck
do.
yeah. Um, you mentioned, I don't know if you meant to mention it or if it was a slip or or if I was just hearing words, but either way, I think you said asset packs or something along those lines, and
Mm,
that got my mind's turning of like, do so you mentioned that people will be able to import blocks into the Magic Palette, and maybe like down the road eventually, people will be able to import their assets to get generated onto the maps as well. Do you guys have plans for anything like around like this asset pack block pack idea, where like I was just thinking more from a business side of things, like this could be a revenue
yeah.
stream for you guys to bring
Mm,
money in to continue to develop. You could have packs of it, when you get to the asset part, obviously asset packs, but block packs right now, obviously there's thousands or 1,000 or so that you guys have included. Do you think that that's something that would be down the road, is like including like packs that people can get, or maybe allowing creators to I mean, I guess basically if you're a creator, you would just sell it and then they would import it. But maybe creating some sort of feature that creators could create blocks for
yeah,
the Magic Palette and then sell them as a pack or something like that. And uh,
definitely. Yeah.
just I don't
I
know.
mean, these. I remember a discussion in the official sandbox forum from maybe 3 years ago now, and I brought this topic up back then already, where when bundles, and
Yeah.
it's there are limitations now with the catalysts in place and all that type of deal. When it comes to blocks, I mean, so asset bundles is a huge thing, and
Hmm.
we heavily believe this can accelerate kind of this whole process of level building, and
For
even
sure.
maybe this procedural generated levels make a leap forward with this in place. So we're actually working on that. I can tell you this. But on top, the the blocks, at least as they are right now, they are free. So we publish all blocks, and as you see or did see in the library, you have access to all these quite high qualitative and textured blocks that's coming from us. But as Sandrash, as studio, we provide them to get you started. Um, but definitely it is once again a UGC type of deal. We hope that others will contribute as well to the library,
Hmm.
and even further down the road, once we would be able to connect to your workspace, for example, your game maker workspace or your TSP workspace, uh, then of course this direct use of your assets and also your blocks would be super easy, and we could interact in an easier way with all that. So it heavily depends a bit how far we can go with integration, and from the business perspective, we think there are a lot of possibilities and opportunities here as a even almost separate um, ecosystem that helps the builders, and they can share content as open source or UGC content, but also sellable
Yeah,
items and bundles, of course. Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
I think I see a lane for both, really. I mean, either both are probably viable options that people would pursue.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I have one last question for you. And I don't think unless anyone else comes in with another question, feel free. You can chime in. And I can see your comments from anywhere. So if you are tuning in on Twitter, I did see we got a Twitter comment from Play Games for Fun coming in. So I can see everyone's comments wherever you're tuning in at. So feel free to drop comments. I can pull them up on screen so everyone else can see them as well. But actually, we just got a question come in from Ian, so I'll ask that one, and then I'll ask my last one. Ian says, if we are using the app, do we own the land blocks and assets, or is it like resting the asset on the map? Can we add our own assets to the app blocks, example, or etc.?
I think what he meant is kind of who owns the block,
Yeah.
right? And even more the assets. We don't provide assets at the moment. This discussion that we just had is kind of a glimpse into the future. Of course, we have tons of assets as studio, and we will provide some of them for free for sure. This is our intention when it comes into more advanced procedural generated level design. On the other hand, the blocks, and I think I even missed to show you this. There's a direct link in Magic Palette. You can click, each block is linked to the TSP block or kind of marketplace to the block that is on the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find, as we just mentioned before. But the blocks are kind of just provided by us, and you can freely build on them and use them in Magic Palette. And place your assets on top of it and do the full game on top of it. It's just the base layer, you know. And yeah, so it's us giving you this starter pack.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how I was gonna say. It's kind of like a starter pack for you to build with, and then you can go deeper and build your own or buy whatever later, if you so choose. So yeah, that's perfect. And then last question, I believe, because we are getting right at like the hour and a half mark is what I was shooting for. So last question, and it kind of coincides with my last question as well, is Play Games for Fun over on Twitter asks how to get access, what the cost is, and my question to also add on top of that is because I think you're going to explain this part, is my follow-up question is what's the target date for access to Magic Palette?
Yeah. How to get access is easy. You just hop over to magicpalette.io and sign up for the waitlist. Yeah, thanks, mate. Just drop your email. That's it. We will get in touch with you once we are ready with this demo version. We also stated this in the SIP. We kind of have a roadmap. We are open actually for pushing things faster or having priorities lined up a bit more how the community would love to see it. But of course, we have a roadmap and we have a backlog of things that we are working and developing. For the app, it's fully web-based, so you will have there's no installation. You don't need to commit. You don't need to dial in your wallet. It's just you open it in the web browser and start building and using it as I did just here in today's demo. Release date, I can't give yet. This demo will be available soon because you see we have a fully working product. As you mentioned, it's a MVP. It's maybe even a step further already, I would say. We want to get it into the hands of the builders as fast as possible. So please sign up so we can get you access as soon as we are ready. The DAO process needs to run through because we need funding. We did invest a lot of resources and time, as you can see, into bringing this to the state as it is and will be for the builders. And once so we have this, you also can see it on the SIP proposal. We have this kind of staggered release. We go first with demo. The demo will have limited export functionalities. So you will be able to generate, you will be able to load your voxel files, to tweak them, to assign blocks and all that. But you won't be able to export it to your game maker. This is where we need to work together with TSP, hand in hand, enable this bridge or this data transfer, set this up correctly, make it as frictionless as possible. And once this is in, we have the real public release where everybody get access. And this is the beauty of the DAO. We hope if we get funded, at least our aim is right now that Magic Palette is free for all. We don't have paywalls. We won't have a subscription fee. It's just a tool to help the builders.
Love that. Love that. And yeah, that is the hope and the idea of the DAO, is to get things like this funded so that we can get things into the hands of the creators. And the awesome part about that is you get funding to develop and make this tool, and you don't have to put a price tag on it because you got the funding somewhere else, kind of thing. So that's super cool, and love to see that you guys are thinking in that direction. So thank you for that. But yeah, I think that was a good answer. I think we covered all of the questions that we had come in. If you are catching the replay and you do have further questions, feel free to drop those down in the comments below, and we'll get back to you and try to answer those in one way or another. But thank you, Pepe, so much for coming on and sharing this demo with us and showing us all of the awesomeness that you guys have been working on and have ready. I know we have a lot of creators pounding at the door trying to get their hands on it. So I'm excited to see this finally roll out and get out into the hands of some more creators, so we can see all of the cool stuff that everyone comes up with to do with this tool, because I really do think it's going to be a game changer. So if you're catching this in time, make sure go vote. It's your job to vote in DAOs. It's nobody else's but all the members. So make sure you do your part and go vote and get some funding into the hands of some obviously able and dedicated builders in the sandbox space. I can't say enough about these guys. They've been working hard for years. Like I said, you can go back and watch some of my previous shows with them and see where they started and where they are now, and obviously where they're heading into the future with Magic Palette. So it's always great to chat with you guys and hear what you guys are up to. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. It really was an awesome experience to be able to see behind the scenes everything that you guys have been putting in the hard work on for years now. So very cool. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you the stage one last time. If you just want to shout out what you'd like people to do, give them a call to action, go follow you on Twitter, or go sign up for the Magic Palette trial or whatever, and we will get on with our merry day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, and one last thing before I give you the stage, if you guys haven't filled out the form yet, I've seen a couple of y'all use the commands to get that form. The secret word I'll pull up on screen for you guys. This is your proof of attendance. If you attend 10 or more streams this month, you're going to unlock a reward. And this month's reward is going to be a pod pass, which is going to get you access to the premium membership inside of my Discord, as well as other stuff coming in the works with the Builders Challenge. So make sure you're filling out this form every time you tune into one of my streams and using the secret word, so I know you tuned in live. The secret word for today is Magic Palette. And thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I'm going to throw it over to Pepe one last time, and then we will say goodbye.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Crafter. Thanks for having me and give us the opportunity to first time show live to the public and to the builders and creators what we think could be this new way of creating, especially when it comes to level design and this as I explained, this early phase of finding your idea, blocking out your land, really going into the player's journey and start thinking how things work, how is the layout defined. Magic Palette will, in our opinion, be your helping hand here and accelerates your level design. Please sign up for the demo on magicpalette.io and hit me up in the forums, on X or wherever you can find me. We have a Discord, of course. Yeah, on the usual places, and I'm more than happy to dive into more details with you guys.
Heck yeah. Thanks again so much, Pepe, for coming on. And thank you guys all for tuning in. Make sure you repost, share it with friends that you think should see this, tag them in the comments, all that fun stuff. And thank you guys for tuning in. And I will see you on the next show, whatever that is. I don't even know what my next show is, but you never know. For sure, it'll be, if anything else, it'll be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time, just exploring the metaverse with y'all. So thank you guys so much. And I will catch y'all around the metaverse. Take it easy, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.
Matt Damon told me fortune favors the brave, and I lost all my fucking money.